Hey guys, Jameson, the Research Revolution. If you go to my Facebook page, I did the first story on Mariah Carey. I show the video, and it's an absolute nightmare. But this is a follow-up article. Check this out. Was Mariah Carey sabotaged for ratings? Diva singer's aides claim faulty earpiece caused Times Square lip sync disaster and accuse TV execs of disabling equipment on purpose. The superstar singer became flustered on stage and stormed off after her opening song was ruined by a glitch. Trying to be a good sport here, Mariah said as a problem continued throughout her two-song performance. Her earpiece, which she needed to hear the backing track over the crowd, wasn't working, sources claim. She had been repeatedly asking for it to be fixed right up until the show was set to start, they say. But those sources say she was told it would work once she was on stage, and then claim it did not. Insiders claim the whole thing was a setup by producers who wanted Mariah drama. Carey complained during the live set before saying, "I wanted a holiday too. Can't I just have one?" Mariah later tried to brush off the disaster, writing "shit happens" in an Instagram post after the set. It capped off a checkered year for the hitmaker after her engagement to billionaire James Packer ended. Mariah Carey was blamed. I'm sorry about that. Mariah Carey has blamed her train wreck New Year's Eve performance in Times Square on sabotage by executives hungry for ratings. Before the nightmare performance, Mariah repeatedly told producers and stage managers at Dick Clark Productions that her inner ears, the concealed earpieces that relay the audience's sound back to her, weren't working, insiders told DailyMail.com. According to those same sources, the star was assured by production staff that it would be fine once she was on stage. However, that was not the case, and they were told again that her earpiece was not working. But instead of fixing the issue so that Mariah could perform, they went live. Indeed, Mariah's disgruntled team told DailyMail.com that a rehearsal at 3 p.m. on New Year's Eve went without a hitch. Furthermore, they say it was only Mariah's professionalism that forced her to go on stage to honor her commitment, that she performed for millions, essentially flying blind. Mariah Carey stormed off stage after botched New Year's Eve performance. Sources say her earpiece and teleprompter didn't work, so she couldn't hear or follow the backing track, and subsequently missed her cues. Sources connected with Mariah say the executives falsely told her the earpieces were on a different frequency and would work once she was on stage, TMZ reported. And despite a troubled interview earlier with host Ryan Seacrest, in which Mariah said she couldn't hear what the host was saying, she pressed on with her performance commitment anyway, with disastrous results. The megastar was supposed to herald in 2017 and say good riddance to 2016 before the traditional ball drop by performing two hits, Emotions and We Belong Together. As is common for pop performance, she would be fed the backing track through the earpieces, which is essential, as the huge speakers used in major performances can be deafening to those on stage, and the noise from crowds even more so. A sound check at 3 p.m. had worked just fine, insiders claim. But just 6 minutes before she was to perform, she was still having problems with the inner ears and still being reassured by production staff that they would work on the night, insiders claim. An attempt to fix the problem by swapping the battery pack on her mic pack failed to fix the issue. None of that worked, and neither did arriving at the stage 4 minutes early. But not wanting to go back out of the agreement, she attempted the performance anyway. It didn't go well at all. I mean, it was horrible. Carey looked furious as she walked around the stage but did not sing due to the show-stopping technical error. Her people claim that it was the result of sabotage so they could get Mariah drama. Mariah appeared to have trouble with her earpiece before the performance, too, when she told host Ryan Seacrest that she was having trouble hearing him. Okay. Unable to follow the backing track and scuppered by a teleprompter that, according to the singer's insiders, wasn't working, Carey stumbled over the lyrics. At one point, she stopped her performance and put a hand on her hip while the backing track continued without her. Yeah, it was horrible. Furious with the unfolding disaster in front of millions inside Times Square and watching at home, Carey, who was dressed in a stunning pink bodysuit, began pacing in frustration across the stage. Trying to keep calm, she stopped and told the crowd that, despite the performance falling apart at the seams, "I'm trying to be a good sport here." Her backup dancers bravely carried on, but quickly became confused, leading Mariah to say, "It is what it is. It just don't get any better," at which point she walked off stage. Letting emotion get the better of her, the star also said, "I wanted a holiday too. Can't I just have one?" Mariah later tried to brush off the huge blunder, writing "shit happens" in an Instagram post after the set. But insiders told TMZ that it was a plot so they could get Mariah drama. Mariah's team also fired off an email to exec at Dick Clark Productions saying, "This is sabotage." After her second song ended, Carey turned her back on the stage and stormed off, a full 15 minutes before the clock hit midnight. This is just her tweet right here. You know, it happens. Have a happy and healthy New Year, everybody. Here's to making more headlines in 2017. Mariah later tried to brush off the botched set, saying, it happens, in an Instagram post. Okay, I read that. Got the seal of Saturn right there. See the seal of Saturn, guys? Always have to have that. And you got 2 right feet. Carey was noticeably annoyed as she stood by herself on stage before she asked a dancing to lift her leg. Yeah, it was very awkward. Carey was noticeably annoyed as she stood by herself on stage. Yeah, I read that. "We didn't have a check for the song. We're missing some of the vocals, but it is what it is. I'm just going to let the audience sing," said the singer before her fit of pique. "We didn't have a sound check for the New Year's baby. It is what it is. Get these monitors on, please." At that point, Carey appeared to give up and went over to one of her dancers and said, "Just for laughs, do the lift." The dancer then lifted Carey's leg in the air as she sang a few notes. "I wanted a holiday too. Can I just have one?" Yeah, they keep pushing that out. After the second song wrapped up, Mariah sarcastically said, "Bring the feathers. It just don't get any better," before walking off. Visibly annoyed throughout her short performance, she also vented about her frustrations to the crowd in Times Square. After the second song wrapped up, Mariah sarcastically said, "Bring in the feathers. It just don't get better than this." Okay. Yada, 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 yada. While I was watching, I couldn't help but think that she kind of has a deep voice. She kind of talks like a dude. This thing was just a nightmare. The whole thing was a nightmare. Okay, so I guess that's the end of it. They're just going to show pictures. I guess they just want to just do all this, all these, you know. But yeah, if you haven't seen the video, it's just, oh, this is Times Square. The clock is 12. Oh, wow. That's some sort of mathematical shape. I forgot, though. Oh, that's the ball. Keep it real. Looks like stained glass. Reminds me of that summit, that nuclear summit, where there was all those triangles within triangles. That looks fun. I used to live 2 streets away in Hell's Kitchen, right across the street from the New York Times. The ABC broadcaster then cut back to Ryan Seacrest, who said, "Mariah Carey there on our stage. No matter what Carey does, the crowd absolutely loves it." Anyway, I thought that was very, it's just funny how there's this, it just seems like it was so bad that I was like, wait, this has to, something has to be going on. It was so, it did seem like it was sabotaged. And that would be something that I wouldn't put past the TV executives of doing that. Anyway, this has been James from the Research Revolution. Let me know what you think. If it was just a screw up or whatever, try to watch the thing. I'll leave the link to this article so you can watch it. All right, later.